Okay. I was pretty busy today, so unfortunately no time for Dark Tide, even though it would have been nice to kind of mix it up a little bit. Um, this is an exciting day for a while otherwise though, because, we finally get to do the Dreadsteed quest. Um, I need to get 400 gold, from my understanding, um, to get all of the items I'm gonna need for the Dreadsteed quest that you, buy while you're out and about. Because you're supposed to like talk to certain NPCs while on the questing, and then they're like, "Hey, buy my stuff," to progress your quest, essentially. Um, I think some of it can be bought in the auction house, but I'd have to get to it. I haven't like read into the quest line too much, because it's still like new to me and all that. Um, but the only thing we did last time on stream was we went to Burning Steps in order to talk to the quest giver over here. And there's a vendor as well where you needed to buy some potions to get past some guards. So one of the quests is to get all the blood here. Not all the blood, but and the other one is to infiltrate like I think it's gonna be like one of the theater places. With that potion, so. Yeah, we're gonna get into it. What are we supposed to kill? Raging Beast. It doesn't tell me what it is unless Raging Beast is literally what it is. It's like a name versus a descriptor. Yes, a Raging Owl Beast, got it. Oh, and check that out. According to this, the drop rate's 35%. So, that's cool. For some reason, I don't know why, silly me, I thought, it would be 1 per kill. But no, according to this, it's not even like a 50-50. We'll see though. It should go pretty fast, in theory though, because they're only level 54. So I should just be plowing through these. I don't have to really worry about, tanking and stuff like that too much, because Flatland should be fine, and then like I should be doing pretty strong damage with dots, so I can probably do some multi-pulls. You know, there's even a world where I pulled out the Void Walkers since they have the AoE taunts as well. But in general, the Felguard will do better. Because for AoE they have a spin. And even though it's not like a complete like aggro, like a tank would, you know, in like their other spell, English, it still generates lots of threat just from doing damage. So. Interesting though, I thought this was a complete AoE. It looks like it's only hitting 2 targets, like the main target and a secondary. Huh. Interesting, so that could indicate, if you want to like min-max or whatever, AoE pulling is better on the Voidwalker. Because they actually do have an AoE taunt versus this hit one other thing. Okay, so looking at the map, I probably want to go this way or that way. And just being meta, there's probably more people going up and down this path, so it's more likely these will be getting killed by other people. So if I go over here, it'll be likely to have more kills for me. Additionally, I haven't been over here, so I guess I'll get to see it if there's anything interesting. Whoa. A little group of frogwalks there. Oh, interesting. I just realized too. It's like obvious, but I normally don't fight prey creatures. I'm not getting any souls. Drain soul. There you go. First blood. First blood. Interesting. This might be worth something. I don't know. Let's put this somewhere else. Here. There. Also, hi birds. Except for the 40 chess players, yeah. I mean, that could be the case, because people... God bless, that's always the thing. I'm trying to think how to word it, but it's just like... When you know, the other team knows, or like other people know, you react accordingly. So, because other people know that you know, they're gonna react differently because you're gonna react differently, and it just like chain reacts. Until someone really does something. But the point of that would still be relevant here, where if other people thought the same, they might be grinding over here. I have a feeling probably not though, considering this is a warlock quest. And most people are in Outland anyways. At like late game grinding stuff, like unless there's a quest over here, they just know most people won't come this way. I guess though, like if it was a PvP server, there could be the scenario where people are just trying to look for other players and blah blah blah. So this could be a spot, right? But we're not on the PvP server, so that doesn't matter. I can actually get a soul off of this one, check it. Hey, check it, we have a black lotus. Those are worth a lot of money in Magic the Gathering. This is the black lotus. It does look like there's a bunch of them here, but they're just really scattered around on this mountainside. And I was about to say a flying mount would make this easier, but I don't think you can use your flying mounts in Azeroth in the air. I think you have to ground them. At least until Cataclysm. In Cataclysm, I think you can fly anywhere. Okay, interesting. It looks like there's supposed to be like a cave entrance over here to go through. And like a tunnel to get to the hidden grove, but I just... I Skyrimmed it apparently. I am curious, Birds. What movies you've been watching, if any? Or should I stop asking that?
Out of range.
It looks like this is about it, though. For some reason, I was expecting more.
That's still recharging.
I guess it is a big tree, but... There's a bunch of big trees in Azura. That was a good one. I remember seeing that one in theaters when it came out. Those are always nice when you're outside and stuff like that. Like, don't get me wrong, I love my high definition and like high contrast TVs and stuff like that. But there is something to be said about like a really big projector and just like kicking it back. I also hear that like the current meta in a lot of households is projectors for gaming setups. That also does remind me of one of my first apartments. Here's my second one. There was someone who lived in the apartments across the street who, on like every Friday or I don't know what day it was, I don't remember nowadays. But once a week, at night, they would put up a projector against like the side of the apartment and just play like Street Fighter and stuff like that against the whole wall. It was pretty intense.
I need to get closer.
I guess the good news is I am finding a decent amount of the higher level ones. So I can get some soul shards back, because when I was doing some of those quests last night, I definitely ran out of soul shards from health stones, respawning, the soul stones, and then also shatter. Interestingly, this looks like a bird's nest, I think. Although it could just be a root. It's a root. It was perspective. Oh shit. We're okay. It looks like there's not that many spawns in there though. It's just a little cool area, I guess. Maybe there's a quest I go there that I never got, but whatever.
It's too far away.
I mean, technically, well, I was gonna say they're technically not consumables, but because they're not like potions, right? Or bandages. But they technically, if you get into definitions, I consume the reagents for it, so it is a consumable. But the thing I was gonna say is that's just a part of the warlock class, and I'm fine with it. I'm fine with having a resource to manage some of my spells. I know some people don't like it, but I mean, if it lets me do certain things that would be maybe too powerful otherwise, and there needs to be like a limit on it, like I'm down for that. Plus, I mean, I guess people just hate using Drain Soul as like an actual spell damage. And that's fair. But what I do is just like, you can actually time it so when you send a Shadow Bolt, you immediately start doing Drain Soul. And so what that ends up happening is once your Shadow Bolt hits them, if that was the killing blow, you just boom, you're still draining soul. And you got your shard and all that, so I don't know, just people don't like it though. But I also have the bonus where I get extra mana if I kill it. Which is a bit different, technically, because to get a soul shard it just has to die while I'm draining it. To get the mana bonus, I actually have to kill it, so in like big groups that can be a problem. And I don't get the bonus as much, but it is what it is. It's not like I hunger for mana considering I have 5 tap.
Out of range.
And then there is an interesting thing for me that I learned about that spell too, the talent in particular. They changed it between like the first WoW and TBC. TBC changes it a bit. I'm trying to remember explicitly how it worked. It worked similar to a priest talent, if I remember correctly. Basically, once you killed someone with it, I think it was still kill someone, you regenerated your mana at 50% normal rate. I think that's how it worked. And then it also generated less threat, I think. Generate less threat might be a TBC thing. I'd have to double check that one. Anyways, long story short with that is, a lot of people don't seem to explicitly love it. I wouldn't say I love it either, this talent, but I like it. It does, give some mana return when you're leveling at least. That's true, Birds. I guess it depends on what explicit thing it is. But something to consider is that until the Soul Shatter, which is like a high level spell, like a 65 or something like that, 64 I think, the Warlock has no way to disengage. So, like, you have no way to actually reduce threat if you get too much. And then it's, like, compounded by the fact that you usually have damage over time spells on the enemies. So, like, even if you go hands off and you stop attacking things, your damage over time spells are going to keep grabbing aggro. Technically, though, it only works for affliction spells, like my damage over time stuff. But it doesn't work for, like, Shadow Bolt. So, whenever most people do the Shadow Bolt build, it technically doesn't help them, so, like, it makes sense, but That's the long story. The short story long.
It's too far away.
Okay, we're making pretty decent progress though. I'm at 11 out of 30. I guess, if you consider it though, the reason why this is easier for me is I'm technically over leveled for it. Maybe not too much, but you first get the quest at like, if it's not 60, like 58. I think you get it at 60 though. Good lord, maybe you get it like at 40 or 50, but regardless, the point of that is I could have been doing this part of the quest way sooner. But I knew I needed a lot of money, so I just pushed it off. The progress is definitely slow in general, though. I'm just killing a lot quickly.
Still
Fight your own battles.
I can't pass that yet. It's too far away. That spell isn't ready yet.
I think I got one more out of all those.
I need to get closer.
I guess the healing caused aggro. Just like, none of that, you can't be drinking potions.
It's too far away. That's still
Okay, but we're definitely circling. Because that's the grove again, the hidden grove or whatever.
out of range. I can't pass that
I guess it doesn't really matter, but I can use this opportunity to level up my sword skill, because I'd never leveled it up before. I'd never had a sword. Outside of like PvP, I don't even know if it would matter there. I don't know if there's any real reason to use the melee versus my wand. I guess even then, I'm not sure why you'd want to use it in PvP. Because you can still wand people in the face, so... maybe it's to try and like sneak in an extra hit somehow. Like if you mess with the like the timing of your attacks and the frames or whatever, you can get an extra hit in there. I could see that. So that's the thing with the rogue. Whenever you put in the rogue, you want to try and time your abilities so that way they line up with your basic attacks in the sense that you stack them up. Instead of like doing your special attack, which resets the auto attack timer. I guess it depends, honestly. Although, I'm gonna say, in the literal sense, I like axes, and so axes can be both blunt and sharp, so that kind of works, but then I took it into the smoking direction, and yes, I do like blunt instruments, that's very true. You could also play it off the fact that I play the drums. So, like, there's a lot of, like a triple intron there or something like that.
I need a target. I don't have a target.
Okay, we're officially over halfway done with this part, though. I think this is gonna have to be my rotation, though, kind of doing this little dance, going in circles.
That's still a target.
This is a pretty good spot, all things considered, because I can definitely chain up a whole bunch of these.
Out of range. Not enough mana.
That is true. Someone can have a sharp tongue and be very blunt at the same time. That was a good one, though. Honestly. That one works too. I'm sure there's a couple of other combinations that we could figure out, but
Spell isn't ready yet.
my brain's not working too good right now. We're making pretty good progress in this little section, though. This is nice.
Welcome, Diverge.
Get closer.
Looking sharp could definitely be in one of the combinations. What do you mean by swap? That sucks though. I don't know if I could say I've ever had a migraine It's one of those things people tell me that you would know if you had one. And I've known people to like need hardcore medication for it, so I don't know if I've ever had one, but it sounds like it's pretty miserable. I guess instead of migraines, I have insomnia and get nightmares. So I guess pick your poison, I don't know. Interesting, I see. I could see that, because I would try to, in theory, I think the idea is the dark room and stuff, helps prevent you from getting, like, extra sensory overstimulated and just, like, with your eyes and stuff like that, maybe. And I could see the heat, just kind of, like, trying to be a relaxant, I guess. Also, bats are just really fucking relaxing. So, totally valid on that too. Wrong spell. There we go. That makes sense, because even if it's even if your blood vessel is going at like the same volume and like velocity, I guess, having the bigger diameter reduces the pressure, therefore lowers your blood pressure. I think that's how that works. Although blood pressure might literally indicate how fast your heart rate is versus an explicit constriction of the vessels. Not medically knowledgeable enough to know that offhand. Just that might be related. Almost done though, actually. Just need like 3 more. Yeah, making pretty good time on this. Although, right as I say that, I stopped getting drops, so it is what it is.
I can't pass that.
That That one had nothing but money on it. Bummer.
I need more mana. That spell isn't ready yet.
I'll probably resummon my Doom Guard after this though. Because I have no health or mana.
What happened?
That's still recharging. Need to get closer.
I think I missed the circle a little bit, but if they respawn over here, I'm fine.
It's too far away.
It looks like they have, so I'm just gonna keep going this way.
Fight battles.
I can't use
Yeah, none of them. Getting a bunch of these though. Where are they? These. I don't know if people are actually buying and selling these, but if so, that's not that bad.
that spell isn't ready yet. My mana is low. Out of range.
Bummer. That's a tough or rough string right there. She killed like 10, I think. Well, in theory, that just means I should get some pretty lucky pulls soon. Can't tell if I am starting to reach my respawn timers, but I think we're okay. I think it was just the edge of the respawns. Why not both, birds? Why not both? Finally got one.
It's too far away. That's still recharging.
Okay, so it looks like there's a couple over here. Miss the edge again.
I can't pass that yet.
I was gonna say, wouldn't it be lucky if both of these dropped it and neither of them do, so, you know, whatever. It would have been a long shot.
Welcome to birth.
Need to get
I guess on the bright side, some of these are higher level, like I was saying earlier. So I'm starting to get my souls back. Okay, we're at the hidden grove again, though.
Fight your own battles.
I guess that is true. I just thought about it. In regards to the wand versus melee talk earlier, I guess you can't use a wand on the move, but you can attack on the move. So that's a benefit, I guess. I'm not sure that I could really tell when that could be useful. In like a real sense, other than just like maybe a hit or two there. Okay, it looks like I am getting too efficient. Unless I just missed these. I probably just missed these. Okay. Okay, one more. Just need one more. And then we'll go to Velvet, I think it's called.
That spell isn't ready yet. That's still recharging.
So close. None of those had it though.
That spell isn't ready yet. It's too far away.
Like every last one is. I think of how to put it. I'm just like expecting the last one to be the last one every time.
I need to get closer. Out of range. That's still recharging.
Okay, one of these. Come on. No.
I need to get closer.
Okay, there we go. Finally, all of them. Let's get out of here. So I can do is go to here and then fly. guess to this one. I think this would be quicker to just jump down and go through versus going up. Got plenty of feathers apparently though. Also, I'm just thinking about it. And I guess there is a valid question. And have I died more to fall damage, or have I died more to actual creatures, like enemies? I can't answer that confidently. Also, she said that she fell down again. That's right, the flight path for Alliance is annoying to get to. In the back. Okay, I'm gonna start flying us over. I need to AFK really quick. While I go ahead and do that, so I'll be right back. Oh, I didn't mute my microphone. No. I'll explain in just a minute here. Okay, so that's interesting how the visual effect is going on and off with this. But the thing is,
Do not waste my time, lesser creature.
I think our smoke detectors are very aggressive. And I mean, in general, it's a good thing, right? Because then if you have like the smallest fire or whatever, it'll still get detected. In theory, that's like the bonus. But from my understanding, other things can trigger it, like just a lot of dust, like a sharp shift in humidity, some other stuff like that. And so, cause like the other week, I remember just like opening my window in my room, and then the alarm went off, and I'm like, what? I'm not even smoking, like, I just opened the window. So, that's what happened right now. I walked out of my room, and the fire alarm in the hallway out there went off. So I just turned on the fan, and it immediately turned off. So, like, whatever. I do kind of miss Velvet, though. Definitely one of my favorite places, aesthetically, and vibe-wise. Just had a really funny reference or correlation. It almost feels like some of these trees, like especially the ones with like the faces, are ones you would find in The Nightmare Before Christmas, in like the forest that opened up to all the different dimensions, so to speak, or whatever. But you know. Oh yeah, those are the ancients that we could like feed their spirits, in the sense of like helping them escape the swamp or whatever. Someone just stealth. Hello, goodbye. Smoke detectors detect light, and motion detectors detect sound. Huh. It's one of those, like, how come you can drink a drink, but you can't food a food? That is interesting though. I knew that motion detectors worked based on sound, unless they're like laser light or whatever. But most of them work by sound just because it's easier and cheaper. I didn't know that smoke detectors work on light. But I guess I could see it if it's waiting for the light to be obscured through whatever means necessary, usually smoke. And that's how it triggers. That's interesting. Okay, and it actually said that I'm supposed to use my like invisibility or disguise potion to go through this, but since I'm a higher level, it also just occurred to me that there's a good chance I could just plow through it. It's down here, okay. That's right, I have to go like up here. Not this one, that one. And then it goes through. Which I guess, I completely forgot, there was an elite. I don't think it was a quest. Maybe it was. But there was an elite at the end of the quote-unquote dungeon that I couldn't kill before. That might be where I'm going. We'll see. Why did that stop me? Interesting. Interesting, in quotes. Just in case, let's go ahead and put this on. Also, I totally forgot to sell everything. I'm pretty sure I'm too high level for these and they won't get pulled. But I'm not sure about stuff later on. Gotcha. Hope you feel better, birds. Thanks for dropping by though. Always good to talk with you. Yeah, I'm totally supposed to be using this to go through here. Let's drink one. Me, wipe out, never. Yeah, but check it, now they're all friendly. Okay. I can't even accidentally hurt them. Can I? No. It was worth a shot. Oh, apparently they're not Jadenar. Or whatever it is. Wonder if that means the warlock down here is or is not. Because they have like 2 succubus with them. Here. And they are friendly. Nice. Interesting that the other one wasn't friendly. I wonder if they like respawned or something. Although it's possible that's just how they be. I remember last time I got like up to here. And this is where I died. Because I was heavily leveraging Enthrall Demons. And lost control. So this is technically all new. This is cool. Oh shit, look at this pile of bones and everything. Cool. However you pronounce it, thematically, it does make sense to come here for the Dreadsteed or like warlock stuff. Because this is totally demons, right? There you go. Dreadlord, how's it going? How's it hanging, buddy? Hello.
My patience spans the millennia, adventurer. But do not think that allows you more than an instant of my time. You wish to enter my good graces, then kill for me my servant VoTLK.
I guess they stopped. It's pathetic in how he growls before me, although while plotting with Lord Helmuth and Zoroth. Helmroth plans to assert my power here, and Yolnatheg is his spy. There we go.
Although Helmerath plans to usurp my power here and Ulithek is his spy, prove that you serve me, and not my rivals. Confront...
Ulithek in his quarters, in the Shadow Hole to the west. I think it broke.
I know his secret and watch as fear grips him. Then bring me the traitor's heart.
Okay, I'm glad I didn't skip through that. That actually was pretty funny. It says to the west. Doesn't seem like I'm going west, but I guess it's just in here somewhere. Unless it was that warlocker there. That seems like it might be it. No. over here it looks like. Up here, hopefully. Yes. I have a feeling it's just gonna start a fight.
Be gone. I hold counsel with Dreadlords, and the matters we discuss are not your concern.
A message from Bane Hollow? What message is that? Does he have need of his great advisor and servant WoTLK? Does he require my presence?
What? But how? No, this is not possible. I have been so careful. He could not know. You lie, and now you'll die for your deceit.
For the Horde!
Okay, yep, here we go. Okay, that would be scary if I wasn't so overleveled for it. This could be a case where I would have preferred to pull out my Voidwalker because they have an actual AoE taunt. Regardless, I have his heart or whatever, so let's just get out of here. I feel like I'm supposed to buy something from him after this. If not, that'll be the next part of this quest. We'll find out though. I think I have to go back to Searing Gorge. Yeah. Okay, we'll go there after this. Unless this takes me somewhere first. Thinking about it too, I could probably fight him at his level now, but I don't feel like trying it out.
Ah, how splendid. After rotting a week, this heart will prove a succulent treat. Perhaps I will send for WoTLK's head and place it before me as I eat. You have done me a service, adventurer. And so my patience for you has grown marginally.
Interesting, it's like after the heart's been rotting for a week, it'll be a treat.
So you come
Yeah.
here seeking Zorovian Stardust. You wish to open a portal to Zoroth. The domain of Helnurath, my rival? Perhaps you plan to steal from him one of his precious Dreadsteeds? Very well.
Yes.
My servant Addon has a supply of Zorovian Stardust. You may obtain it from him. If you can pay the price.
Okay, and I do. This person, right?
The ways of Jadenar are dark and treacherous.
Bruh.
Watch your moves in this place, adventurer, or you will find your soul enthralled by your rivals.
Hopefully I just need one. Let me check before I go, because I'd hate to have to come back. I just need one, I think. At this point, you are free to leave Channel Hold to return to the Burning Steps. Okay. Then... That's what we will do. The question becomes, how was I going to do it? Was I going to Hearth and then just take Shatterwrath back to Stormwind? Or do I want to try and get out of here? Honestly, getting here would take quite a while. So what's this Hearth? I guess I have extra potions just for fun. I remember it saying you want to get extras just in case because they expire
Welcome.
on death.
Will you take your rest
But I
here,
guess that meant
or
for like
perhaps a
PvP
meal?
servers more than just me in general. Is that really selling for 9 gold? If so, I'll sell that. Okay, we're done here though. I guess, amusingly, if I just wanted to look purple forever and be tainted by shadow, I could just buy a whole bunch of these potions and just run around with them. That could be funny. I guess the keyword is could be funny.
Where would you like to fly to?
Okay, once we get to Shatterwrath, we will go to Stormwind. Yes. Doubly so because the Warlock Trader will be pretty close to the portal exit in Stormwind. I honestly don't know where the portal exit is in Ironforge. So that might be closer to the Warlock Trader, but Stormwind's technically closer to my destination anyways, so I'll just go there anyway with that. Amusingly, the debuff, or effect, whatever, impacts my mount, I guess. It's kinda cool. That, like, makes me even more so want to, like, hoard up on those potions. Hopefully I can just buy them from them at any point in time, and it's not a matter of being on the quest to get them. But we'll see. Okay, I actually don't know if there's any new spells. I just assumed there was. So let's take a quick look.
What can I? The arcane only corrupts those who are weak.
There
Keep up on your
are.
training, or
Good.
you may find
Okay.
a similar fate.
Curse of Agony. Drain Soul. Nice, nice. Health bottle. Also, let me change talent trees. I may have more Siphon Life, so let's just double check here. The answer is no.
Farewell. The arcane only corrupts those who are weak.
Okay, then that's
Have a
that.
good one.
Wanna make your...
Let's see if there's any more of these. No. No, 'cause I'm looking for 67 for sure, maybe 66. Insert 6-7 meme. Okay, so we'll have to check the Voidwalker. Since the Voidwalker has level 66 spells, I know I should have all level 66 spells. And I should just look for 67. Okay. Looks like that's it. Okay, cool. Boom.
Off and away.
So let's change the spells, or update them. Hey there, Dave Nova. Yeah, I'm definitely excited for Plus or Camelot. Whenever that actually comes out. I guess we'll see what it will actually be. But in general, I'm super excited for the concept of it. Okay, let's swap back to my other build and then update those spells as well, really quick. Health funnel. Drain life. Drain soul. And then curse of agony. There we go.
Wanna make your...
That's true. From my understanding, a lot of people thought Season of Discovery was like testing grounds for Classic Plus, and then they just kind of like put Season Discovery in a corner and tried to forget about it.
Right.
And I guess in regards to like the Turtle Well thing, similarly, I think they're going after Ascension Well right now, from what I heard. So like they could be pulling stuff from Ascension as well, in that regard. Oh my god, that fire alarm again. It's outside of my room, so it's not even a me thing. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. My fire alarm's going off again. It looks like it's maybe because there's a spider in it. Dealing with that later. Just took it somewhere else for now. Yeah, but back to the private server stuff. In regards to Ascension WoW, from my understanding, Blizzard has already begun the process for like cease and desist in that regard. So yeah, they're definitely doing it. That is true in regards to the IP and current versus old, like Abandonware.
You can't find on foot. They'll get you there fast and maybe show you something new at the same time.
But there's also something to be said about allowing us to modify product that we own. But then you get into the argument, do you own anything? Blah 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 blah. I'm not here to get into that. It's a valid discussion. I'm just not here to get into it right now. Because, like, for example, whenever people used to play, like, original Counter-Strike Source and all that stuff, like 1.6, people would have, like, custom mods and stuff like that, and Valve didn't really have a problem with that. To be fair, it did. It was one of the reasons why they got more money, because, like, Team Fortress Classic and Counter-Strike were originally mods for Half-Life. But, like, you could correlate that to Dota in Warcraft 3. And then Blizzard just got really ass-pained about how they couldn't monetize Dota. I mean, some companies I would argue do. To your point though, in general, yeah, I guess most companies would just be like, don't touch my stuff. But maybe because I've been a part of a lot of open source communities and various gaming communities over the time, there have been various companies and game, I guess like publishers or whatever, trying to like define it, that encourage modding in that regard, versus just saying like whatever. Because like you have the whole like, no, don't touch our stuff. Then you have like whatever, and then you have sure, continue to mod for us, please, and they'll even provide like modding support. Nintendo though, yeah, Nintendo. Oh my god. Yeah. I mean, Blizzard originally wasn't that bad. Because if you go all the way back to like Warcraft 2, StarCraft, Warcraft 3, that thrived on a modding community. And the modding community was there because they gave us the level editors, like robust level editors. So it's just like, they did want us to create for them, but as the company got larger and larger, blah 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 blah, and corporate overlords are seeing the money on the table, like, as someone who has been very corporate business-wise for my job, I get it. I don't have to like it, but I get it. That's true. I guess some of them were a little bit, to your point, like some of them were more lenient. But consoles in particular were a lot more stricter than, I guess computer, PC. Consoles are computers, but we both know, there is a distinction for this conversation. Right, but like, in that regard, even that's not safe, because Blizzard literally started trying to monetize custom maps after Dota got so big in Warcraft 3. So it's like suffering from success, I guess. I'm just always kind of like a right to repair kind of person in that regard. And this is a more nuanced take and discussion. Like, it's more nuanced than the surface level answer I'm about to give. But I do think that we should be able to modify what we own in that regard, including games. Should we be able to play in online services with them? That's a different discussion, and I'm like more willing to be like, well, maybe not. Especially considering like all of the stuff the company will have to consider from people making stuff. But in regards to like single player, local stuff, I don't see why it should be a problem. That is a digress, I guess, from the WoW private servers, because those are definitely multiplayer. That's true, and it's like that's where it's hard to, like, I want the, in an ideal world, people can just modify it and we'd have a good time. But we don't live in an ideal world. Insert potion seller meme. So I understand they have to take steps in order to protect their property and stuff like in that regard. It's where we draw the line and where like we actually define that is like the nuance that we with that is worth discussing. I mean, give our corporate overlords enough time and they'll be like, oh, you want to charge your brakes? Change your brakes? Well, you need a license to do that. Yeah, I mean, Xbox is such a weird story in that sense because, like, honestly, whenever the, like, PS5 era and stuff like that was coming through, I'm not as familiar with the console wars at that point. But they basically just gave up by saying they're no longer gonna, like, make games. They're just gonna be, like, an entertainment center, from my understanding. Which isn't a bad choice, but it definitely sets your position in the market, right?
Need help?
And like, Microsoft could totally bring it back right now by doing the same thing, what was it, the PS3 or PS4 did, where they were like, oh, physical discs, you can trade those, blah 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 blah, stuff like that, and committing to physical media on the Xbox. But I have a feeling with the cuts from Microsoft, I don't know how that's gonna look.
Well met.
That's also true, like Blizzard is one of the few, from my understanding, money makers for Microsoft. Since the acquisitions forever ago, like they're under Microsoft now, right? So, that goes, from my corporate experience, that goes one of two ways. Either they're gonna get the squeeze, and they're gonna squeeze them for every penny they have, until there's nothing left, and just like trim the fat as much as possible, and then it's just a shell of what it was, like a skeleton shell. Or they will try to nurture it, because it does provide income. But knowing how Microsoft has been operating, I do not trust them on that.
Ah, very good. I will have this blood distilled into an ink and use it for the parchment I promised you. And perhaps I will save just a little for myself, as I hear its
Jesus
taste
Christ,
is
this
quite
guy.
euphoric.
I mean, to be fair, I'd probably be with him, trying to give it a taste, if it's true.
My servant, Gorziki, is an alchemist of some skill. He can prepare the ink I will need for your parchment. I gathered together the blood you acquired. Take it to Gorziki so that he can begin his work. Be careful.
Yeah, to your last point there, I would agree with that. It seems like Blizzard was targeting the private server companies that trying to think of how to word it. If they were announcing a feature in like Warcraft, for example, then they're targeting, and it would make they would then be targeting the private servers that are doing those things. Because, like your argument says, if you're doing stuff that like Blizzard doesn't offer, that is still something that is like a unique offering in that regard. But if they do offer it, it does make sense to actually purchase the services and goods. We can get into the whole dismantle capitalism discussion, but I still believe that there is a important tangible function to finances in that regard and how they are handled.
I got the best deals anywhere.
That would be an ideal if they were invited to work. In some cases in the past, that's how it would work with companies, is they would hire the modders, bring them directly in. I think like Project Zomboid was doing that, I don't know. So that's a really good option, but is Blizzard actually doing it, or are they just throwing out cease and desists and suing other companies, or like the private servers, and then not offering any jobs or anything like that? It's just a matter of stop using our stuff. I guess, sorry, to be, I guess more transparent, when I say arguing, it doesn't have to mean, like, the literal definition of arguing, and being, like, argumentative. I think I sometimes use the term argument instead of discussion, just because that's how I grew up, I guess, in regards to, like, defining it, even if it didn't mean, like, a true argument.
Time is money, friend. Keep it real. Ah, potential customer.
There it is. I can hardly believe you got it. You must have struck a big
He's
deal
super
with that
excited.
Dreadlord, or else paid a large sum, or both. Morzul will
Correct,
have his
both.
ink very soon, and then he can finally make the glyph parchment, so you can open a portal to Zoroth and pull through it one of the famed Dreadsteeds. There is one more process required for Morzul's parchment. I need paper infused with Zorothian stardust. And I'm afraid I can't do that here. I don't have the equipment.
I have to go to
There is an alchemy
Skolo.
lab, however, with everything needed. It's in the Skolaman, on the Isle
Interesting.
of Caer Darrow in the Plague Lands. I can't make the trip, but here, take this jar.
Hopefully
There's
I don't
an
have
imp
to
inside
go
who is
into
quite clever.
Skolo.
Let him out at the alchemy
I don't know if I
lab
have
and
any
he'll
keys
infuse the
for that.
parchment.
Be good.
I guess we'll find out.
I got what you need.
Oh, it's blood. It must be from Master Morzul, then. He is so enamored with the stuff, and loves to see it spilled. I, however, prefer it coursing through the veins of a small rodent. It stays warm that way, until you want it. This is powerful blood. Morzul must be making another parchment to summon a Dreadsteed. How exciting! If that's true, and you're going to perform the ritual, then you're going to need a lot more than blood, my friend.
Have a good one.
Greetings.
Oh dear lord. Let me answer you before I start picking up these quests. I would agree. I do want a new game. Like, I hunger so much, for a new Warcraft experience in that regard with MMOs, just because, like, as someone who grew up in, like, the Warcraft of Warcraft 2, 3, and a little bit of WoW as well, I just like the thematics of, like, undead and then warlocks in particular. Like, I would just love to have a new gaming experience, but within the same theme and setting. Like, that would just be so cool. Which is why, like you say, Hype Train for Classic Plus whenever that comes, or Camelot, whatever they're gonna name it. I appreciate it. I mean, it's always good to have a good discussion in that regard with, in regards to apologizing. Just not so much to apologize, but just to, you know, be kind, I guess. 'Cause sometimes people, I have a problem sometimes of communicating. So I just try to be as accurate as possible in that regard. But I agree, there's a lot of toxicity, and not the System of a Down song.
A Bell of Deathmora, named after the late warlock Deathmora Darkeyes, is one of the 3 tools needed to create a circle of greater summoning. When properly attuned with the wheel and the candle, these items conduct vast stores of arcane power. My servant Gorziki can construct such a bell, but to do so, he will need a large supply of elixirs of shadow power. Procure the elixirs
Okay, I think
from
I have to
alchemists
buy
and
this
bring
from
them
the
to
auction
Gorziki.
house.
Go with honor, friend.
Yeah, toxicity.
A wheel of the Black
How is
March
it?
contains and directs the violent energies required for the circle of greater
Singing right
summoning.
now would
For
be a bad
Gorziki
idea.
to construct a wheel, he will need both large, brilliant shards from an enchanter and dark iron ore from a master miner. Acquire these and bring them to my servant. Light bless you. A doomsday candle stores fire and directs it at those who would disrupt your ritual. When creating
Doomsday
your
candle.
greater summoning, if your candle is lit, then any wayward
That's
demons
cool.
will be burned by its flames. Containing that fire is not easy and requires the essence within the scales of a black dragon. Acquire those scales from a skinner and
Okay,
bring
I have to
them
buy
Gorziki
this from the
Wildlands.
auction house too.
For the Alliance.
Yo,
What else do I need from
keep it
here?
real.
Okay, I was like half paying attention. Like I know I need to get a bunch of stuff from the marketplace, but is this iron ore something I have to get here too? I need to buy the elixir to shadow power. That says it's from an alchemist. The scales from a skinner. And then these, I guess, are just around here. Okay. It took me a second. At first I was like, wait, what? Is this a meme that I don't know. Trying to think of what my favorite song would be from Soad, honestly though. I guess I just have to collect this here. There should be crystals, I think, around here somewhere too. The brilliant shards. I guess. I actually don't see where we're supposed to get the brilliant shards. Yeah, that's how I see it. I think like maybe it was like their first album or two. I enjoyed like almost every song. But then afterwards it was more of like there's a couple of good bangers and the rest are just they're there. Franklin the Friendly.
How
Hello.
are you?
He's just like, move along. Okay. From my understanding, the dragon scales have to be skinned, right? Yeah, so there's no need for me to fight those. Huh. They were also, if I remember correctly, they were miserable alive. So they were pretty good studio albums, but live they couldn't hack it per se. But this was forever ago, so who knows? Okay, I feel like I'm missing something here. Am I supposed to be going like inside somewhere? I'm tempted to look this up online. It depends for me. I like a good scream. So I would agree. Their softer ones are usually pretty good. Like spiders, like that's a nice one. But I do enjoy some of their good screams. And I guess screaming is a little bit subjective, like a yell, like a long yell, an emotional yell. Lonely Day is a good one, yes. That's a lonely day. Should be banned. I think that's how it goes. That's fair. That's probably why I do enjoy them, though. Okay, I'm about to just look this up because I clearly have no idea what I'm doing here. Let's look it up.
What happened to your friend?
Let's see. Dark iron ore. What the hell do you get these? Okay, I guess you're supposed to actually mine this. Interesting. I think I have to buy all of this. Oh, large brilliant shards are from disenchanting. I'm so smart. Okay, let's get to the flight path and fly back to Stormwind, and then we'll just auction house that. Let's see, back in the day, I started playing during Wrath of the Lich King, and then I played Cataclysm, and then I played a little bit of Mists of Pandaria, and that's where I stopped playing forever. Until now, I guess last year. I have, during this run, I have done 0 PvP. I've done most of the dungeons as I progress, but I have skipped some. Like, I skipped all of the dungeons here in Blackrock Mountain, which I think is probably a sin, considering there's so many dungeons there. But, like, I did Sunken Temple, and then I was doing stuff in Outlands, right? And I have done 0 raids because I'm not level 70 yet. And I guess I wasn't 60 either whenever TBC wasn't out yet. I honestly don't remember because it's been forever. But I just remember like the things I wanted to do. I had already mostly done at that point. And so, like IRL-wise, like my groups weren't playing well anymore.
Where would you like to fly to?
And I didn't have any desire to play anymore. So, like it didn't even really matter what came out in the expansion. Talent-wise, because I just didn't care anymore. I remember they added like Pokemon, with Mr. Pandaria, but that wasn't enough to get me to keep playing. I think when did Mr. Pandaria come out? Honestly, let me remember that. The first time. It was 2012. Guild Wars 2, released 2012. So that's what I did. I jumped over to Guild Wars 2 at that point. I even have the original collectors or pre-ordering, I can't remember, Char plush. I remember I bought that because it was super cute. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, Craft Punk. I honestly can't comment just because I think I was just done with WoW at that point. And I didn't really have a lot of like social engagement personally. I didn't really have like big guilds I was a part of or anything like that. Interesting, really. I wouldn't have thought about that. Okay, here, as someone who has never done a single raid, can you explain to me why those are the best raids? Because I personally just want to do like 8Q, for example, because I just love the Silithid rather. And I've never done that one. I just want to do it. But I have no idea if it's good or bad in that regard. I guess it depends. With MLP Classic, do they have their own Asian server? Because if they do, I guess that would be the better number to look at versus the the other servers, I guess. Because I feel like a lot of Western audience was dying out at that time, and that would match up if the Asian servers are still popping off for MLP. From my understanding, though, MLP still has the highest classic population, so there's that, I guess. Okay, I only need 5 more. There we go. Dragon scale. If I can spell. Here we go. Uno, dos, tres. And then I have the brilliant shards. So let's check for the potion. Elixir of power. Bruh. Okay, I got the 2. I see the check for the brilliant shards. I guess for someone who's not aware, what is Titan Forged? Also, yeah, I know, from my understanding, a lot of people stopped at Cataclysm because a lot of people who enjoyed, like, the original, that was, the original Warcraft, that was considered, like, where the game
No one's ever stolen anything out of here.
was no
Not in the
longer
whole
really what it
history
used
of-
to be.
the whole
Like, even though with TBC it moved away a bit, and then Wrath it moved away more, it was still... It had some of the core components of the old WoW, right? But then Cataclysm completely redid a lot of that, both visually and mechanically. So that's where a lot of people who enjoyed the old game maybe didn't enjoy the new game. And that was just a calculation by Blizzard, I guess. I'm looking for brilliant shards though, and I do not have those. So I will have to buy them. No big deal though.
Be careful.
I see, so back into the, in regards to craftbuilding, in regards to the dungeons or the raids themselves, I guess overall design doesn't help me as someone who doesn't understand the raid design and how that would be impactful. I can understand that they're very thematic, and that's cool, because then you feel like you're part of the world and the story in that regard, and they're connected. And they can also look really good too, right? But mechanically, I guess I don't understand. Oh, I do remember of that now, that you mentioned it. Vaguely, like it's a passing memory. In regards to the combination WoW. Interesting. Yeah, I would be interested to try that. So, I've heard there's pros and cons to that. I've heard there's some really bad decisions that people don't like monetarily potentially too. But I digress. I don't know enough. Interesting, so... Huh, that's cool. With the level 80 thing, I just read about that. And how they can give you gear in raids that would otherwise be normally lower level, but there's a higher level version of it now, or something like that. Like the heroic versions, but different. In the sense that they're like a different dungeon, not just a heroic version. Or raid. Which I'm all down for. One thing I remember noticing, especially in the human starting zones, there's a lot of quests that overlap and bring you back to like the beginning of that questing area. So like once you get to the end of that questing zone, like level-wise, you're still going back to like the beginning area a little bit. And then you get like cross interactions with people lower level than you. And then even further, there are other quests in like your next zone or zones that take you back to the previous zone at a certain point. And that's cool too, to bring back higher level people to lower level, so you can see like where you're gonna go, how you're gonna look, and just all that stuff, right? That's fair. It was just basically good gameplay, and it's just hard to, I guess, explain that explicitly without getting like super nitty gritty. Okay, I should have all the items now. Interesting, yeah, I could see that. As like another like correlation, I totally have the Warlock Scythe for the staff, and it sucks to me that I can't really use it because it's just not powerful anymore. Higher levels, but I could totally just like aura farm with it at some point. Here, let me pull it out.
For valuable items. Do you already have an account with us, ma'am?
Where is she? Where is she? Here she is. Soul Harvester. It's just so cool. Like, I just wish I could bring that out. But Transmog could address that, I guess, in that regard too.
Go with honor, friend.
Also, I'm gonna go back to the auction house one more time. I'm going to sell these. Oh, really? Unfortunate. Sad. Sad times. The sad times of Supreme. I definitely would have enjoyed that. Maybe next year, I guess. I don't know. Or whenever Classic Plus comes out, they'll have something else like it. I don't know. Okay, do these actually sell? This looks like it's just people putting a whole bunch in the marketplace for no reason, so... These are actually sellable, though. I'll go with this price. So I'll just sell this as it is, because that's apparently worth 10 gold, almost. Nice. Okay, let's go ahead and just, I guess, vendor these. I guess you can't even vendor them, they have no sell value. I just toss them, I guess. What do you mean by Classic Plus Auction House? Are you talking like... Diablo 3 Auction House? Or is there just something else I'm missing? It's interesting that this quest is considered level 67. I wonder if it's different for normal WoW versus TBC, because like would you have to do this quest at like a max of 60?
These great beasts know paths that you can't find on foot. They'll get you there fast and maybe show you something new at the same time.
Actually, hold on. Wondering if it'd be quicker to go through, hold on. Do I have to go back here first? Let me check the guide, because this is going to be a long trip if I don't do it right. Let's see, I have the bell, candle, blah 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 blah. Okay, start the quests. Uh-huh. Okay, I'm supposed to go back. I am supposed to. Oh my god. I'm supposed to go back, turn these in, And then we go to Skolo. Yeah, you are correct. I have never raided before. I've done dungeons, but no raids.
Where is it ye would like to go, lass? For just a few coin, my griffins can get ye there faster than even the swiftest horse. For the Alliance.
Oh, I see tons of every item. Yeah, because no one knows what's important yet. I'm sure like some items will come up, will rise as the cream of the crop. But yeah, there's the point where you don't know what's useful or not. It's very much a No Man's Sky problem. I remember also one of the first issues of No Man's Sky is you get like all these different resources, all these different minerals, and you're like, do I need this? I don't know. And you just like store it, and then you like never actually do need it. Because I've never gotten to the highest level, except, and currently I haven't gotten to like 60 or 70, in regards to 60 during just WoW, and then 70 during TBC. In the past, I did get to max level, but I wasn't a part of a guild, and I was getting bored and wanting to play other things, so I just didn't. I also had to restart, exaggeration, like a million times, back in the day when I was first playing, you know, whenever Wrath was retail, because my friends wanted me to play on a PvP server at the time, and I'm not really into the PvP server explicitly because of the people who just take advantage of it versus the PvP concept itself. And I had too many people camping my corpses for too many times, and no one helping me. And then, like, I started on with a different server with someone else, and then different server with someone else, and so eventually I just played for what I wanted to do. But that also meant once I was done, I was done. I do enjoy dungeons. I can't talk right now. I do enjoy dungeons. It can be rough if they take a really long time and just want like a quick dungeon. But like overall, dungeons are fun. That's also because like I come from a history of playing like other RPGs, right? But then like tabletop RPGs in particular, like D&D, Dresden Files RPG, stuff like that. So, in that regard, I have a lot of experience, quote unquote, I guess, of doing like the group dungeon dynamic, right? And that's fun to me. But there's just the various reasons over the decades why I haven't done it. And those reasons have been slowly getting taken away. Like chipped away, you know, removed. So I'm able to play more, and try out more things, etc., right? That's what I hear, but I also hear that raids are at a certain point more drama than gameplay. And then there's also the fact that it seems like sometimes it's just a matter of numbers. Just throw more numbers at it. It's not really like a group dynamic thing. It's just get a bunch of people, smash face. And like, don't get me wrong, there is fun to just a wild Zerg in that regard. I played Warhammer Online, and that was very much what Warhammer Online was. But the time investment can be a problem. Just like, I'd rather do something else with my time if it takes forever, right? But I guess that's also the problem. Dave Nova. Wow, my brain. Dave Nova is, I didn't really have people I was playing with back then. I was in a guild, do you remember? Whenever I was a Death Knight tank. That was fun. In particular, I was a Frost Death Knight tank. But I remember the guild kind of petered out and died as time went on, and then it wasn't that big to begin with. It was fun for like dungeons, but like we didn't really have like raid level, and then I guess they got busy too, and it was just whatever. That just like struggles back again to like, I can do other things and not have to worry about that kind of like social investment. That's fair. I guess it just depends like if you enjoy it, regardless of who you're playing with in that regard, because like I'm gonna be real, I can put up with some bullshit, but if people are just being complete assholes, like what are we doing here? I'm gonna go do something else. Like fuck you. I'm just gonna go fuck off and play something else because this is not enjoyable. But that's a bit different. That's like an extreme response. I wouldn't say that's just like the baseline or whatever. Oh, Craft Punk! I have something to show you, Craft Punk. It's nothing dramatic and crazy big, but I'm a little proud of doing it. I made this gear order so that way I can have it on the fly instead of eating with the to-do list. Speaking of, but yeah, I didn't like change the aesthetics too much, but I did make a separate list so that way. Shh, shh. It's not anymore. You're supposed to be proud of me.
Do I have a deal for you? What's up?
Very good. I hope these elixirs weren't too hard to get.
No.
Sometimes alchemists can
They
be
were
so
not.
miserly with their creations. I'll make the bell and keep it until you're ready for your ritual.
I got what you need.
There they are! I hear that dark iron ore is only found in the depths of Blackrock, and I'm sure these shards weren't easy to
That
find
would make
either.
sense on why I
am
couldn't
often
find any.
awed at
It's
the
supposed to be under
dedication
the
you
ground.
warlocks have. If you instead bent all that energy into the art of bug catching...
No,
such
I will
feats
not.
you would enjoy. Sorry, a small digression. I'll create the wheel and keep it for you until you're ready for your ritual.
I told you, every time you ask me, it's gonna stay on for another level.
Have a good one. Ah, potential customer.
Yeah, like all of these are definitely gathering quests, I guess. Enchanting's a crafting quest, but disenchanting.
Ah, very good. I'll need these to contain the fires of the candle. Now that I have the scales, I'll make the candle and hold on to it until you're ready to begin your ritual for the circle of greater summoning. Now that the bell wheel and candle are made, I should make a black lodestone. During your ritual, you'll need that lodestone to maintain the other ritual objects if they should
Oh
fail.
shit,
To make
I
the
have bought
lodestone, I
Arcanite.
require Arcanite. Do you have any? If not, then you'll have to get the Arcanite from an alchemist. Return to me when you have the Arcanite, and then I'll make the black lodestone.
Oh, I hate my life. I was supposed to buy Arcanite before this. Oh. Well. It says I need 3, but I only need 1. I guess I changed that in TBC. That is correct. I guess we're going back to the auction house. Torres, it is... hold on. I have the list of my add-ons in my description, but it is VoiceOver with TBC VanillaExtra. From what I heard, Dave Nova, what I heard about Season of Discovery, apparently, in general, no. But there have been, like, efforts here and there to get a resurgence. I think recently, in the past, like, month or two, there's been, like, a resurgence of people doing something. I don't pay too much attention, because I don't play Season of Discovery, but for some reason, I'm going to say Shadows of Destruction, but Season of Discovery, so I don't remember what. I just remember seeing the, like, threads on Reddit and stuff. You're welcome, Torres. I do remember, Torres, that I had to do, it's been forever now. It's been, like, half a year, because it was, like, in February, but I remember I had to do something manual. I had to, like, copy-paste something from in the installation process. It wasn't as simple as just like download these add-ons. I had to download them, but then I had to like move the files from one into the other. There should be guides for it, so it should be like documented in that regard, but just know that you'll have to do that unless I changed it. Also, just to go back a little bit, Dave Nova, in regards to the trauma with people showing up, that's very much like the same thing with like tabletop RPG issue, like D&D and stuff. Like trying to schedule everyone to show up on the same day at the same time and play for X amount of hours. That's always like the hardest part, so I get that. Gotcha, okay, so it was server-based in particular as well, not just SOD in particular. I mean, it kind of makes sense that SOD fell off each phase because that's like all it is. It's like here's a toy. They give you like a toy and you do everything you can with the toy. And then they give you a new toy. And then blah 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 blah, right? So that makes sense on why there's nothing else to do, because it's just the same toy at that point. And then some of those are like specific to like the level brackets, so that makes it even harder because like the old toys, quote unquote, are useless now. And that's just like the normal WoW problem with new expansions invalidating content from older ones. Which I think Josh Strike. Hold on a second. I think it was Josh Strife Hayes who had mentioned it, where that cadence in particular and new expansions in theory shouldn't invalidate older content but supplement it. And I guess like you can only do so much of that unless you get creative, because you can only add so many new items and so many new like XYZ. So I get it. Interesting. I mean, from what I remember doing No More Again in WoW Classic before TBC, everyone hates No More Again. I did it because I had all the quests for it, and I've only done it like once forever ago, so I just wanted to go through the dungeon again. What?
Where would you like to fly to?
I can see why it was good to have a different version of No More Again, because people didn't like the current version of it, and that could even like spell into these are things you're gonna do in like Classic Plus, right? If they're gonna change No More Again, like that might be some of the changes they implement to make it more interactive and enjoyable versus the one everyone avoids, apparently. Do I have the key to Skullomance? No. Do I have to buy it? Can I buy it? Or do I have to get it somehow and I'm just like screwed here? Unless I do it. One of my viewers helped me before. They had a rogue, so they lockpicked the doors when we got through. I don't know if they're watching now to help. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to figure it out. Apparently I have to do a quest with the Argent Dawn to get in. That will be interesting, I guess. Although, funny story, I still have some quests for the Plague Lands, with Chromie. So, maybe it's time to go back. Interesting, I have a quest for Dire Maul as well. I've never done Dire Maul. So if I need to get a key for that, I'm kind of... I guess I gotta figure that out. Okay, one thing at a time here. Let's open the list. The list. Okay, that'll have to do for now. Nomerigan had a good helmet for casters, but by the time I did Nomerigan, I kind of outleveled it. So that was a bust. I guess if anyone knows how to get the Skullomance and Dire Maul keys off the bat, let me know here. Also, hold up, is my internet dead? That was weird. Arcanite bar. Give it to me. Boom. I'm not too worried about the cost of things. I explicitly made sure to get enough money. And then some. But... yeah. Bruh. I guess I might have to do another sidetrack then. I guess I don't have enough, because I'm not... I definitely went under 250. Boo-hoo. Boo-hoo-hoo. I'll get over it. Funk, you've asked me this like 10 times. And I've told you every time that I'm doing this. But let me look this up here. Monastery was fun. Even though it's mostly a horde dungeon. Okay, crescent key, I guess is what I'm looking for. Is that true? Okay, yeah, I was just reading that. It was just like, to get the Dire Mall key, go to Dire Mall. I'm like, isn't that a catch-22? What the hell? It says it just drops off of something. It drops off of an elite you kill, not a quest in particular. Supposedly. That's how it works. And from my understanding, I have to go to... I guess I don't know. If... Wait, hold on. I'm looking at this quest. Dire Mall. I need to go to Dire Mall West, so I do need to go to Dire Mall East to get the key. Got it. I guess. Okay, and then the Plaguelands for the Skullmancy quest. There is the Alchemist. At the south end, so that should be fine with that description I got. Okay, though, but let's go back to Burning Steps. And then... And only then can we continue.
Where is it you would like
but
to
also,
go, guys? For just a few
fun.
coin, my griffins can get
Just
you
to like
there faster
reaffirm,
than
I'm
even
in
the
this for the
swiftest
pain.
horse.
I want to go through the whole Warlock questline experience. So that way I can say I've done it, and in the future I know what I'm skipping whenever I just skip it. There is for Days Nova, there is a fine line on that though. Maybe it's not a fine line, but there is like a gradient to it. Because absolutely no help whatsoever with vague quest information can get kind of frustrating. Like, it's kind of cool at first, but like the longer that goes on, the more it can get frustrating. So I enjoy having a nudge in the right direction, but not being told explicitly So that's why I kind of like half pay attention to Questy. Because I'm like half relying on reading the quest or listening to the quest and figuring out what to do, and then I'll kind of look at Questy to double check some things. And if I'm really struggling, that's when I'll look it up online. Girl, what do you mean by cheating, Craft Punk? I guess you could argue I could have done what I could have done at level 60 until I ran out of money, and then what? Then what, Craft Punk? I wish I could just jump down. I couldn't like over there. That's true. But I guess... God forbid someone want to experience the content even if they're overleveled. Because there was no way I was doing this at level 60 because I didn't have the money for it. But I understand what you're saying. I do understand what you're saying. Girl. I love my threat trinket. I love my threat trinket. You can't have it. It's a watch. You know what time it is, Craft Punk? Time to piss you off. I can't help myself with that one. But yeah, for Dave Nova, a lot of things that are maybe difficult for a solo player are definitely easier for the pet classes. There is an extent to that, because there's an argument to be made about just being more potent when you're self-sufficient. But the pet in particular helps with tanking while I put out more damage, instead of just like slow tanking it like a paladin or something like that. No. Look, Craft Punk, if you think this is going in the trash, you are not my friend. It's going in the bank after I do take it off. I will die on this hill, literally. I guess I am curious, Dave Nova. Do you have a favorite class? Both in regards to just like being effective in a group, and then like which is your like most favorite thematically? I'm kind of lucky that Warlock happens to be both. But I understand some people might like the theme of a certain class, but it's not as powerful in that regard with like the build they want to do versus another class. That is an interesting prospect, because technically bots could abuse that by being in bigger groups and just artificially inflating the loot drop rate in that regard. It's just someone who has to deal with munchkins in games. In the bad sense, where people just min-max in a way that takes away from the game experience. I understand that. Interesting. I understand that perspective with not wanting to group up, but I still think it's stupid. I can understand it, but still not agree with it. Even though it is technically the best way to get the thing you want in there. I see, so like half the roster. Is there something in particular? Definitely, I was gonna say at least like Priest Paladin seem very similar with like semantic with the holy. But I guess it depends, like maybe you're healer, damage. But it could be healer, tank, damage. Who knows, Priest, you could be Shadow Priest.
I got the best deals anywhere. Ah, potential customer.
You got it! Nicely done.
I don't
Now
think
I
I've
can
actually
create
ever
the
played a
lodestone.
mage
When
either
you're
in a
finally
while,
ready for your
which is kind
ritual
of
to create the
unfortunate.
circle of greater summoning, you'll want a lodestone to make sure the ritual doesn't fizzle out.
Have a good one.
Can you explain what you mean by that in regards to playing a whole different game? Double check I'm not missing anything before we get going. I closed a tab with it, though. Here we go. I fell in the hole. Okay, there's a song in there. Yep, that's it. Okay, so I just have to go to Skullomance. And then I think after Skullomance, they'll send me to Dire Maul. Hold on. Yeah, that'll be after Skullomance. True, I guess that is fair. Whenever I played WoW Classic for the first time, and Classic is the anniversary server, my first character was actually a rogue, an orc rogue. And that was a fun part of just stuffing through, like, entire, groups of enemies. Cause, like, you go to the, there's like a dungeon where it's like, kill this guy at the end. A dungeon is loose term, it's like a cave, right? Then normally you have to fight through everything to get to them. As a rogue, you just walk through. Quote unquote walk through, but yeah. I do enjoy rogue classes in other games too, so I definitely feel that. Same thing for just like gathering stuff too. If it's like a chest or just like mining stuff. Yeah, I had a lot of fun with that. Plus, it's also fun to be a creeper, I guess. Just stealth, and then no one knows you're there. Except for you and anyone else who gets too close. Paladin is something I want to love, but I struggle with it. I think I'm just too DPS brained. Like, I enjoy tanking in general, but like I struggle with the fact that my leveling is just so slow. Which is where, like, oh, just do dungeons, but like, it's a little more nuanced than that. Healing is fun too. I haven't made any healers this go around in like the dedicated sense. I did start a Draenei Shaman. Didn't get too far. I do want to make one. But I kind of lost the energy in that regard of doing it. Plus, I'm focusing on the Warlock. I want to finish the Warlock first. I do have an undead priest, though, I've been kind of doing offline. Offline in the sense of off-stream. I have a hunter as well, a Blood Elf Hunter. I just love pet classes in general, and I do enjoy how the hunter is a bit more engaging with the pet mechanics. Sure, they're kind of tedious, but I do enjoy like the experience and like the theme of building a relationship with your pet friendmate in that regard. And that whole like bonding stuff, so I enjoy that. Plus, just having a pet helps so much for dungeons.
Where would you like to fly to?
And soloing.
See you soon.
I mean, they only have to. Do they really exist? Is there a talent that gives you benefits if you don't have a pet? Like, I know some games do that, where like they flip the archetype on its head and have like an optional archetype that, in this case, doesn't have a pet, right? But I didn't know if WoW has that. Okay, interesting. I'm guessing it's on like the combat tree or something, like the far right tree. I actually don't know what the term is, like the name of the tree. I just think it's the far right one. Combat's a rogue tree, so yeah. That's true. I do have. I mean, as a demonologist, I feel like it's part of the kit. With demon sacrifice. In general, for me, I want to have my pet out. In this case, whenever I'm dungeoning, I'm doing this build where I'm affliction focused. So I keep out the succubus and incubus instead. But there have been some times where they just keep dying. Or they pull aggro unexpectedly and I can't control it really. In that regard, just eat them. Demonic sacrifice. And then I'll use them until I can summon them again, right? I do know of that one though. But on the talk of warlocks, Season of Discovery apparently has warlock tanks, and that's a cool idea. Because there's totally, like, you almost wouldn't remember it with how WoW has handled warlocks. But a lot of themes for warlocks include martial ability, like using melee weapons, having some kind of armor, even if it's just like leather versus robes. And it would be cool to get more of that in Classic Plus. I think Craftpunkt mentioned there was kind of something similar, not really, but kind of, in WoW Ascension. They had like a shadow melee class, which seemed really cool. But I forget if they have a pet, like the warlock would. man, though. This music's getting nostalgic. Since I've been in Outland so long. Definitely missing Azeroth. So in that sense, this is a fun little break. To get away from the tedium of Outland at this point. Because I'm gonna be real. I'm not bored of Tarot Card. It's a cool place. It has this nice, spiritual, somber feeling. And then you have the Bone Waste, which is super cool. And you can go thumping and all that. But I think I'm done with it. But that just might be a matter of like endgame and progression and how it just slows down really hard at the end while you're getting the last couple levels. Because like before TBC, that's basically how it was from my understanding on like the last 5 levels, like 55 to 60. It was a really hard crawl. And then you were just looking for EXP anywhere at that point to try and complete it. Okay, we finally arrived in the Plaguelands. Question. Is there an inn here? No. Is there a rest zone here? Okay, I guess there are no rest zones here, if I'm understanding this correctly. Really? Oh, there's an innkeeper here. I guess there's a difference between an innkeeper and a rest spot. They're usually the same, but I've heard sometimes they're not. Also, where is this alchemist? This guy. Hello.
What kind of... This job is definitely not worth 16.
What do I have to do to get your quest? Let's see. Requires... I have to talk to Ashlam Valorfist.
Safe travels. You need. Welcome to the front lines,
I have to clear the way, I think.
Stormwind, with the aid of its allies, has sent me here to counter the growing threat of the Scourge. Here at Chillwind Point, we fight for our continued survival on a daily basis. If you've come here looking for a chance to prove yourself as a hero, then you'll find plenty of opportunities to do so, especially as we push towards Andor Hall and whatever malign force that controls the Scourge there.
I think this is what I'm supposed to do, but it's not 100% clear. Let's see. Yes, I have to start at a call to arms. Then I do clear the way, which is what I'm picking up right now. And then it will ideally go through more quests. Got it. Okay.
With Andor Hall's western and northern roads into the city well fortified, I'm looking to strike at it from the less defended eastern road. The Scourge relies on the buffer of undead that infests Sorrow Hill as a first line of defense. If we are to advance on Andor Hall, we will need to do it through Sorrow Hill. Your first assignment will be to clear the way through Sorrow Hill. Thin out the skeletons and ghouls that haunt the area. Report back to me when this is done. See you around.
Well, it's kind of... Questy didn't like that. But if it's the final quest or not is kind of irrelevant in the sense that I have to follow a quest line that isn't the final quest. So that's where I'm at right now. Also, I could tell. I was like, I'm pretty sure that's the boosted gear and the level 58. So yeah, it makes sense. Kind of going back a little bit though. Dave Nova. In regards to quality of life stuff, I agree. I mentioned this a couple streams ago. This was like a month ago though, where some things I understand are still impactful even if they're kind of quality of life things. For example, transmog. I understand that some people don't like transmog for two reasons. One, there's like a definite kind of like notoriety behind certain items and gear, right? And then, in like PvP, it makes it more obvious what kind of gear your opponents have. So you can kind of gauge what their power level could be, or their specs could be, just by getting a glance at what they're wearing. If you introduce transmog, the first one is like, okay, but the second one is a definite mechanical difference, and I understand that. So I see in a world where transmog can be implemented, but there is the option to disable it. In the sense that like I can enable transmog my own stuff, and then someone else can say disable transmogs, and they'll just see my original clothing in that regard instead. That would be the ideal compromise in my head.
A target.
I guess you mentioned every class has a busted mechanic, Dave Nova, as well. That's true, but it feels like some classes have a more busted mechanic than others.
That spell isn't ready yet.
Right, that's like the best option. I would agree with Craftpunk. With how it worked on Ascension in that regard, then I didn't know that's how it worked there. But like in just working with other games, that makes the most sense to me. I guess it makes it's not the same reason, but like for example, World of Tanks, you could disable player skins at both the complete level, like no skins, or only showing historic skins. That way, when people have like Warhammer skins or Hello Kitty skins, you don't see those, but you can see people with like camo colors or other stuff like that. Okay, I'm gonna let my man loose. Just let him go have fun. He needs the enrichment. There's the meme where come get your man, and I'm like, no, I let him loose on purpose. He needs the enrichment. Okay, hold on. We need to go actually kill the right things over here. Yeah, definitely with like the frost mage thing. Yeah, But from my understanding, people consider the mage like a heroic class. Because of that, balance-wise. It's something that's I guess. Interesting. I do remember Warhammer Online tried to introduce a lot of mechanics for making support classes important and trying to think of how to describe it, but just like actually providing more than just quote-unquote heals or tanking in that regard, to try and prioritize, like force prioritization. Like, if I remember correctly, like Ironbreakers and stuff like that, they had a pact with one person in your group, and like half the damage that person took, you took. And then it also generated your threat. So that means that like, well, maybe they don't want to try and focus that other person because it's just making you more stronger. And so they have to be a bit more creative in how they approach it. I guess I just plowed through all the zombies here, but the ghouls. I just need 2 more. I guess I'll kill him just in case it counts as part of the respawn.
Fight your own battle.
Girl! I do what I want, Craftphone. I don't have to rationalize to you. I've already said why I'm doing this like a million times. I have no recollection of the event in question.
Out of range. That's still recharging.
Go ahead, call the cops. I don't give a fuck. we go, look at that respawn. Perfect. Joke's on you, that's where all my stuff is. No! Oh, fuck that! Oh, fuck that.
What can I do for you?
And your horse he rode in on.
Mission accomplished, adventurer. Well played, well played. Allow me to reward your work thus far with some coin from the Stormwind coffers. I'd recommend spending it on material that will aid you in your next mission. One that will take you into the ruins of Endor Hall itself. Be ready.
Endor Hall itself. I mean, I guess that's a double-edged request, Dave Nova. Because ideally, we would embrace it. But if it sucks total garbage, like, we don't have to like it. But yeah, the giving feedback would be integral, but then it's up to Blizzard to actually action on that feedback, if so. Because if they don't, that's where they will lose people.
Have a good one.
Okay, which one do I have to do next? Along the watchtowers. I don't have to do the skull, the Scourge Cauldrons, just along the watchtowers.
Through the use of a magical device known as a beacon torch, we can mark targets of our choosing for future actions by our troops. To that end, we think the Scourge are using Endor Hall's watchtowers as a means to control their troop movements. Your mission? Breach Endor Hall's defenses to plant beacons at all 4 watchtowers. You'll need to be in the doorway of each tower to plant the beacon. It will then proceed to mark the tower. There are only 5 charges on the beacon torch, so use them wisely. For the Alliance. See you later.
Yeah, but that still needs Blizzard to not be complete dicks about it. And I have the hopium. I want to hope. But as someone who has been hurt, quote unquote hurt, not a big deal, but by the corporate greed, I'm not exactly holding out. Because Microsoft in particular is really squeezing the belt right now. So it really, even if Blizzard wants to do well, they technically report to Microsoft. And if Microsoft says, cut this from your budget, they just have to do it. To an extent, obviously, but yeah. Chromie's in here somewhere. I think this one. I mean, in that regard, trying to think of how this has a cooldown. That's stupid. It's fine. I don't need to wait for it, so in general, I wouldn't have to. Trying to think of the words here. What I think is, if Blizzard fails to provide, communities will still prop up. Whatever happens from there happens. But I don't think they will stop completely. communities from cropping up in that regard. Let's make some bandages. How many do I need? 9. I can't even make 9, so I'll just make the 2. That's fine. I have a whole bunch of bolts in my bank. I can't use those for bandages, but if I need to craft anything, I'm good.
It's not ready yet.
I mean, to that extent, yeah. But I think the point of that is they were never going to, they, as in Blizzard, was never going to win them over. If that makes sense. So they shouldn't need to explicitly cater to it because they're not going to engage in the content. That does make it sometimes hard from the development perspective to justify it or to get the feedback they need. But that's what it is, I guess, you know. I mean, as someone who's old, I'm 35, people will find a way. And additionally, people will stop playing. Like, both of these things are true. A lot of people, when there's no options that are obvious and easy, they will just stop playing. But others will spring up those communities, even if they stay small. And they will persist and exist, even if they're not anywhere close to like what Turtle and Ascension was. And then if that's really worth your time at that point, for example, that's all subjective. But they will still exist, in my opinion. I mean, but like at a certain point, that's just what you have to do. As someone who's had to deal with lots of shit when I'm getting older, sometimes you just have to walk away. Like, sure, I would love to play this like idealized WoW experience. But if the experience they provide is not even subpar, but just something I don't enjoy, then I just gotta find a different hobby at that point. Hobby in this sense being just like a different game, right? Although it could be a different hobby, but in this example, I would just find a different game. Like maybe Guild Wars 3 will be interesting to me. Maybe I finally start playing Elder Scrolls Online, just to give that a try. Stuff like that, you know? And it'll suck, don't get me wrong, that sucks. But you just gotta be real with your sanity and your enjoyment and time at that point, you know? I mean, a lot of people do that though, Cave Nova, just from like the sunk cost fallacy. And then there's other like psychological reasons we can go into or whatever, but we don't have to. But yeah, I definitely have changed my perspective versus like trying to force myself in games like I used to as much. I am completely fine dropping a game if it just ends up being not fun, you know? True, that's why, like, again, like earlier, I was optimistic and I have the hopium that they will make it work, but at the same time, like, hope in one hand and, like, realism in the other, like, it's just, Yeah, I've heard a lot of, not so much conflicting, but, like, varying, information about ESO. And, like, the general information is that it's fun, but there are design choices and like gated content, but it's kind of similar, supposedly, to like some older games like Dungeons and Dragons Online and Lord of the Rings Online, where you can play the game quote unquote for free, but you are expected to either subscribe to unlock the content or to pay for the content like individually in that regard so you can play it. Also, that's entirely possible. Thank God the ESO team at Bethesda. I'm not paying attention to anything in that regard because why? I don't have a need to myself personally. Like Oblivion Remastered was cool, but I mean we're all still waiting for Elder Scrolls 6, so. But at that point, to like back it up, if I were to play ESO, it wouldn't be explicitly to have like a forever game where I just keep playing. It would just be to experience the content that they have, and then if I'm enjoying it, I enjoy it. If not, then I'm just done, right? Right, I'm definitely like any word at this point since there's been so many leaks would be nice damage control. I say damage control, that's not the right term. They don't owe us anything. But it would be nice. Interesting. I haven't played Fallout 76 at all either, because I heard it was miserable at the start for various reasons, and so I just never got into it. If that's true or not, I actually can't vouch.
My priests are reporting that
I've had multiple people say they enjoy it, so I don't know.
Signals on all 4 towers. Dare I say it, but I believe you've executed another mission with.
But again, that gets more like maybe I could try out 76. I don't know.
Well played once again, adventurer. With the towers marked, our
this guy likes to say well played.
Are now in place. The time has come to take the fight to the Scourge. Be careful.
I think the next quest is the Skullman's quest. Yes. Yes, that's correct.
On the island of Caer Darrow lies Scholomance, a wretched center of scourge necromancy and evil. Our enemy dwells within, conducting unspeakable acts of depravity on unwitting victims. At least we surmise as much. A door bars the way, and try as we might, no entry is to be had without a proper key. Alchemist Arbington is well versed on Scholomance.
Well, I can say that's not true because I had a rogue let me in earlier.
Your worth to me, and now I entrust this task to you. Speak with him on this matter. For the Alliance.
You need something?
Well met, adventurer. I've dedicated a fair portion of my recent studies to the Scholomance, and I believe I know a means by which you can acquire a key. One that will let you pass the front door.
Dude, Starfield, I don't
imagine what horrid sights are to be seen.
I don't even know where to begin with that one.
I don't know how you heroic types do it sometimes.
It reminds me of No Man's Sky at the beginning. In so many ways.
The key to Scholomance is called a skeleton key. It must be forged from the remains of a skeleton, several actually, and hardened by only the strongest of metals within a suitable mold. A signet of power from a being who naturally can open the portal to the Scholomance will make the key ultimately function. First things first though, adventurer, we'll need skeletal fragments for the key's forging. Skeletons inside Andor Hall should yield what we need. But
yeah, I haven't actually played Starfield, so I guess like subjective, but I've heard a lot of people talk about it, and like I've heard some good stuff, don't get me wrong. But by and far, that's like the best way I can put it.
It's too far away.
That's fair if you have Game Pass. I don't, but if you do, that makes sense. That is an undead corpse.
I need to get closer.
Get a selfie.
Out of range.
I'm guessing this person is doing the same quest. Ooh, this is gonna count towards their kill, but whatever. Also, this is supposed to have an 80% drop rate. How have I only gotten 3 with an 80% drop rate? That seems absurd.
That spell isn't ready yet.
Oh, that's fair with the $1 trial. I just don't pay attention to stuff like that because I'm lazy. There's other reasons, but that's the major one. Interesting. Okay. That was an interesting effect. 'Cause I totally told my old version of Lothan to go, and he's sort of moving, and then this one just like appeared charging out of the other one. That was interesting.
It's too far away.
I mean, to go back to the Elder Scrolls 6 thing, I wouldn't be so sure about that. You dangle the carrot for so long, people just stop getting interested. I guess we'll see. Because I guess to counter my point, Cyberpunk 2077 was like that. Because they made a release trailer for that, like, back in 2012 or 2013, I think. They only released the game, like, what, a couple years ago? So, yeah. But I guess to be fair, that was a good game, so... Okay, I'm thinking that I can find more skeletons over here, but... it depends if the other player is over here.
Welcome to Earth.
Looks like no, so we're good. I guess in regards to like the 80% as well, though, it wouldn't be the first time. There's been some other stuff that took way longer than it would seem like it should. Something that I thought was really cool, you can kind of see it with some of these skeletons, but here it is again. The guy undead model, when they shoot a spell, they totally have their fingers in like a metal position, like metal rocker position. It's just really cool, little tiny detail. Interestingly, this is almost seeming like closer to the 80% drop rate because I'm killing these things pretty quickly left and right here. Not that part. I'm getting a drop a lot more often here. Also, cool lich. I want to be a lich. Okay, I just need 2 more. Nice. Interesting. I wonder if these skeletons have a higher drop rate for it compared to the ones that were at the graveyard. Well, this is all our graveyard, but over here. I forget, is there anything in the water here? No, just dirt. Dirty water. Okay. This should give me the key, and then I think the next quest will be going into the Skolo. Let's find out.
Hello. You need something?
This'll work, adventurer. My turn now. I will imbue these with a suitable temper that will allow them to survive the intense forging.
I gotta go to Daenerys.
The next step will be to get an appropriate mold for the key. I know a goblin blacksmith in Tanaris that has in the past made molds for similarly macabre items. He works for whom goblins usually work for, the highest bidder.
But that kind of makes sense. There's a lot of warlock people in Tanaris. If not Tanaris, sorry. It's the town in the Barrens. Excuse me.
The goblin you will need to speak with is Crinkle
Gadget
He peddles his skills to the highest bidder in
Gadget
Gadget
actually.
within the Tanaris desert. He'll
No,
likely be the only
not
one
the
who can
Barons.
produce the mold we need, and
Panaris,
his
duh.
services won't come cheap. We now ask for you to dig deep by footing whatever fee he will charge.
Dig deep,
I'm an
huh?
alchemist, not a banker. If I had gold lying around, I certainly wouldn't be here. I guess I said the quiet part out loud again. Oops! Gadgetson awaits you.
Oops.
Good luck.
That's kind of funny. I'll hold on to these just in case. Why can't I remember the name of this town for some reason? I'm trying to remember it, because I want to remember it. Booty Bay is over here. That's Gadget-san. Crap. I'm failing this test. Thinking. God, I should know it. Is it? It's not Booty Bay, because Booty Bay is over here. 100% sure. Yeah. Tinkertown? It's not Tinkertown, that's the gnome place. God. My mind keeps going back to Gadget-san. I know it's not that though, because it's down here. Giving myself a couple more seconds here. Ratchet! There we go. I thought I was going to Ratchet. I'm going to Gadget-san though. I think, honestly, it'll be quicker for me to hearth out of here. Even though it's going to stop me here first.
Will you take your rest here, or perhaps a meal?
Oops. Stop it. Oh my god. That was weird. Regardless. Just drink some dew water, I guess. Oh, I should get paid here. Get money. Not a ton, but almost a gold. I have other stuff in the marketplace. It's worth more. I can't remember what it was. It was a scroll. I think I put up something else, but we're fine.
Where would you like to fly to?
Now let's just get out of here. I hate this town. I'm gonna be real with you. It was kind of cool to see a bit of the human buildings out in Outland. But that watermill. That watermill is a menace. Rest in peace, headphone users. But what I'll probably do is exit out Stormwind. No, I'll have to think about it. Because I could go to Stormwind, hit up Booty Bay to Gadget-san, and then fly down to Gadget-san from there. Or, sorry, Ratchet to Gadget-san. Although, I could just go to Darnassus and then just fly straight to Gadget-san from there. But, you know what? That'll be a problem for tomorrow. There we go. Let's bring out the demon again.
Who dares summon me?
Okay. We're gonna go ahead and transition to here. Definitely streamed like an hour more than I intended, but I was really enjoying the Dreadsteed quest. So I didn't want to just drop it, and then it was it was fun talking to y'all in chat as well. Good to meet you, Dave Nova. Hope to see you around more. Always a pleasure talking to you, Craftpunk. And then, for the future, tomorrow's Friday. I want to stream tomorrow. I have an event on Saturday, so I may or may not be around on Saturday to stream. So I definitely want to try and stream tomorrow night after work. So I'll go ahead and try to see y'all tomorrow. But if not, then I will try to stream Saturday if I have time after my event, and then of course Sunday as well. So if you enjoyed the content, go ahead and give it a like. If you want to see more, go ahead and subscribe so that way you can get notified and all that good stuff. And then I'll see y'all next time. Bye! Also, just noticed my boots are totally eating my pants and my knees when I'm kneeling. I'll leave you with that.